We're getting a pretty early start today, 8 o'clock. And we've had the wonderful luck and privilege of experiencing the time change in both America and Europe.
Yeah.
That's the first time in our marriage, I think. Yeah, so it's a little darker, a little earlier, which is fine. Whatever, stays light later.
The only terrible thing about this is, okay, a couple things. Is, you know, the nice thing about getting going so early like this is it would be so great to see the sunrise.
Maybe.
However,
Maybe.
the weather is not cooperating. And so that kind of stinks. Secondly, getting going an hour earlier means it is more chilly.
And on the subject of weather, I use the native Apple weather app, whatever. It says 0% chance of rain until 3 p.m. Carissa uses WeatherBug, and it says rain all day. So I wish these weather guys and gals could maybe get together and have some sort of summit and discuss what the weather's going to be like. We, much to Carissa's chagrin, we have probably another 20-mile day. I looked at the profile today. The first 10 miles is uphill. It's gradual. It's like it's 100 feet per mile. And hopefully this early start gets us into town around 3 or 4, and maybe we can beat the worst of the weather. We talked to multiple pilgrims yesterday that said that we should probably see some snow today as we get towards the top of the mountain. So we'll see. We'll report back. Buen camino. I couldn't have put a Band-Aid on my foot, I don't know, 10 minutes ago when we were in our room. I had to wait till we were out on the trail. It's better drama. It's better for viewers, subs. Sorry. You know, it's not your fault. Shove your finger in between the toes. That kind of pushes it down. I got this little blister on my tiny pinky toe, and we popped it a couple of days ago. And yesterday, this skin fused to the sock, and when I pulled my sock off, well, you know where this is going. Pulled the skin off, so.
This is giving me practice for when Rhett goes to the old folks' home.
Taking care of me.
At least we're not changing diapers yet.
Yet.
Golly, this is worse than trying to dress a baby, that's for sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So we just had our first stop of the day. We're about 3 3/4 miles into the day. We didn't have any breakfast this morning, not even a croissant or a donut. It was just El Ganso was a very small town, and there just wasn't much there, and we stayed at the very end of town, so we just got up and left. So we had a ham and cheese breakfast sandwich and a couple cappuccinos. I think we're feeling refreshed. The mist is continuing. Chris and I are wearing all of our clothes to try to stay warm. And I know I can speak for myself, not her, but my rain jacket seems to be failing because the jacket underneath it's wet too. So we're gonna keep plugging along and fight through this fog and have a great day. Buen camino. You have the floor, sweetheart.
So I just stuck my foot in water again, right? Like it's like you feel like you're safe to step in an area, like to try, like for instance, right here, this muddy, watery, so you choose an area to walk around to avoid the mud and the water. But little do you know, it's like you can't trust anything when there's water around. You can't trust your footing anywhere. It's sort of like when you're sick and you have diarrhea. You cannot trust a fart. Bye.
up to my ankles in water. Up to my...
Day is just, I mean, I could cry.
It's not been the best. Well, it's been a day.
One of probably the worst.
I haven't filmed a lot the last couple hours because, quite honestly, the downhills and the rocks are borderline unsafe with 100% focus and your trekking poles. So, what would you like to say?
The past, I don't even know how many hours it's been, 3.5, have been so terrible. The terrain has been some of the worst that we have experienced so far. It's been raining all day. Anyhow, we just stopped. Like, we walked and walked and walked forever, and there was a woman that we met at the last town back, and it was probably like, I don't know, about noon. And anyhow, it's just interesting, like, how God puts people in your life at just the right time. And I think it was the same thing for her too. Her name was Monica, and she was from Austria. And anyhow, when we left the last town, however many hours ago it was, she was ahead of us. We ended up passing her, and we were a good bit ahead of her, and we came to this freaking water crossing. And it was another one of those situations where it's like, you can't trust where you're stepping anywhere. And Jason was in front, and I mean, you should see his shoes. His feet have been soaked all day. I watched it. It was heartbreaking to watch. It's just like, this whole day has been just in our face all day. And my heart was breaking for him, like watching him walk through mud and water and knowing that we still had several miles ahead of us was so destructive for me. And just like him doing everything that he could to help me cross that stupid water. And here comes Monica, and she's out here walking by herself, and that woman, she
didn't miss a beat.
Didn't. She saw that water, and she just walked right through it. And it was just like super encouraging for me because she's out here by herself. Like, anyway, that was the last time that we saw Monica until just now in this town right here, where we just stopped, and we still have 5 miles ahead of us. She's stopping here for tonight, but we told her when we saw her at that water crossing, the last thing that we said to one another was, see you at the next bar. And I'll be darned if she didn't walk in about 15 minutes after us. And we sat there and we were talking to one another, and she was talking about how she was in such a bad mood that last bar that we were at, and she was ready to hang it up and just go back home, not do any more of the Camino because she was in such a bad mood. And she said after talking to us, and there were some other ladies from California that were in the bar and a woman from South Africa, and she said it just renewed her spirit and her energy. And that's exactly what she just did for me right now, sitting down in that bar where we just were. And I needed that because today's been really hard. So.
It's been a day. Buen Camino.
Buen Camino.